Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, June the 24th, 2025. Y'all know what I'm happy about, right? Oh, Mike, I like the way they handled the press conference. It was brilliant, right? The only thing that could have come out that shouldn't, I mean, that didn't was Nina sleeping with Drew. But okay, they better be saving that for a bang. I do have a video clip, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the video clip. Let me share my screen. Let's see. Goodness, I think I'll keep talking because I don't have everything set up right now. But no, it was really, really good. We've got Drew standing. I'm going to put my picture up. Drew and Kai standing. Why are Drew's hands like this? Why is he standing with his hands like this? What's that about? And then Kai's doing the same thing, just down lower. I'm like, you know how ridiculous you think? I'm in charge. I'm the king. I'm right until the rest of it comes out because and I'm still talking on. I don't have the video ready, but I'm getting ready to get it ready right this second. Here we go. So I got to put it on the right screen here. Hold on. Okay. And I did share with computer audio. Well, I haven't shared my screen yet. Hold on, everybody. I hate these little technical difficulties here. That's only because I got so excited. I haven't even looked at my Beyond the Gates. I had to do all this editing for General Hospital just to come out here early because it was so exciting to me. Okay, so, and I'm going to put my one earphone in because I don't have it on my speaker. This is my earphone. Here we go. Now I'm going to share my screen, share the sound, and here we go. You turn my camera off.
Yes, I just want to say, I want to go on record and saying how courageous it is for you to stand up and speak out against your wealthy and very powerful employer. You're saying that the congressman did not plant that bottle of ketamine in Miss Quartermain's car.
Oh,
I know that
sharing
he
the wrong
didn't.
screen,
And
y'all.
how do you know that?
I'm happy I looked. Let me see, share this screen. Here we go.
I want to go on record and saying how courageous it is for you to stand up and speak out against your wealthy and very powerful employer. You're saying that the congressman did not plant that bottle of ketamine in Miss Quartermain's car.
I know that he didn't.
And how do you know that?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that I'm not a supporter of Mr. Kane at all. I didn't even vote for him. But I can't just stand by in good conscience and see him be accused of something that he did not do.
Cody! Don't you dare obstruct. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm in charge of the horses on the estate, and Hades is our prize show horse.
Go on.
Okay, so before the Hampton Classic, I had to help because Hades required a minor medical procedure, and so I had to get some anesthetic, but my truck was having trouble starting, so I borrowed Miss Quartermain's car.
What?
Yes. I said I borrowed the car. So in addition to some supplies, I had to pick up ketamine for the procedure. And I must have left a vial in Miss Quartermain's car, which means that the congressman did not frame Miss Quartermain, and Miss Quartermain did not drug the congressman. She's innocent. I'm not lying. Miss Quartermain's innocent.
Yeah, well, why didn't you come forward before now?
I don't really watch the news. There's so much sadness out there. I didn't even realize that I'd left the ketamine in Miss Quartermain's car until it was time for Hades' procedure yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right. Honestly, full truth, when I borrowed Miss Quartermain's car, I didn't exactly ask her, so I was worried that she'd be upset if she found out.
You're right about
But
that.
you didn't think she'd be more upset by facing charges that could send her to prison as a result?
I didn't realize how far this was going to go, and when I found out what was happening, I decided I had to say something.
How much is Tracy paying you to lie?
I have the receipt right here. The ketamine. Yeah, Dr. Jamie Thomas, DVM. It's not DMV. I looked that up. It's Doctor of Veterinary Medicine.
I know what it means. That does not prove a damn thing, okay? That could have been doctored up this morning.
Oh, I think we could get an expert to prove that it was written weeks ago.
No, I could get an expert. You give it to me, I'll have it authenticated.
Oh, no. This is going right to my lawyer.
Just give me the gift.
That was hilarious. I loved it. Soon as Cody walked in the back door, right? And stood there, I thought, uh-oh, Cody's gonna save the day. I knew it. And sure enough, he had to go get some supplies for a competition for Hades. Now that's logical, right? Makes sense. They have a ton of horses on that estate and an alpaca. Drew, actually, Martin had the most egg on his face. He really did. Drew just knew it, like, oh no. Because when Cody started talking and he goes, no, the congressman did not frame Miss Quartermain. I'm sorry. And oh, Martin, like, oh my goodness, we got to get him up here. Well, come up here, come up here. And so Kai was telling Drew, oh, that's good, isn't it? And he goes, maybe. Because he knew that this is too convenient. And what's getting ready to happen? Because how could Cody come in and swear that Drew did not frame Tracy when in fact Drew did frame Tracy? So he knew. He's like, huh. So after it was said and done, right? Martin's hurt. He goes into Drew's office and Drew lets him know this was a disaster. I knew Tracy was not about to go along with this that easily. You should have known. Oh, he just really raked Martin through the coals. And then Martin said, I had no way of knowing that Cody Bell was going to come in and say what he said. And so Drew said, oh, you know what? He goes, but I can still fix this. I can spin this with the press. Drew says, no. Oh, no. You're not doing nothing else. You've done enough damage, right? So Martin has to have Kai help him up out of that chair because he hurt his back. He goes, well, I'm getting ready to go to GH, the emergency room, to get my back looked at. And Drew tells him, oh, by the way, Martin, the retainer you got? Oh, that's all you getting from me. And Martin stops and he looks because, Martin's all about the money. Uh-huh. Yep. So Kai is talking to Drew. Martin walks out. Chase is talking to Cody. They were actually reckless because Chase says, that's not the real receipt, is it? And Cody goes, well, no, not that one. But there is one. He says, I just have to look for it. It might take me a while because I'm not good at record keeping. Chase is like, I figured it. Because he goes, if the PCPD looked into that receipt, is that the original? And that's what Cody's like, yeah, I could find it. So, but Chase isn't going to do anything because this is, Drew's already dropping the charges. It's already come out. It was a hoopla. So anyway, but Martin is walking by, but Martin didn't hear them. Martin's too busy dealing with his hurt back, right? And we have Brooklyn and Tracy talking outside the room there. And or they may be inside, but by those blue curtains, I really couldn't tell, right? And Brooklyn is like, oh, interesting turn of events, Granny. And she goes, yeah, who knew? She goes, I guess I'm gonna have to let it slide that Cody took my car without permission. And Brooklyn said, oh, I think you're gonna owe him way more than that. And Tracy just looks at her and she gives that Quartermain Tracy smile. And she tells Brooklyn, this was all Michael's idea. I knew it. I knew that was. See, Michael, you get a thinker in the house, right? Which is why, remember, Michael said, wait a minute, ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer. He came up with that plan like that. And that's why they were also going along with having this press conference so fast. So he could get Tracy off the hook and be done with that. Yet another way Michael has beat Drew Quartermain hands down, right? So we have that was just really good, really, really good to me. Now there is another quick teeny tiny scene. Did everybody notice Willow is getting a little backbone when it comes to every Michael, Jason, right? Anybody in Michael's corner. Now, Nina, she will listen to, but she will hear her, but she won't listen to her. It's going right in one ear and out the other. And she tells every point Nina makes, Willow looks at her and says, I know. But we're not going to, I know. But we're doing this. Oh, you know. So she tells Michael, he goes, Willow, what are you doing here? He goes, the kids aren't here. And he should have said, and good, because you should have called me. We could have met anywhere but here. And so she goes, I came to talk to you. And he goes, what about? She says, I want full transparency and let you know what's going on. He says, what's going on? Drew and I are getting married. We're going to be married before the custody hearing. And he looks at her. We saw that part yesterday. And he looks at her and he says, if you think, he goes, that's a legal maneuver. He goes, we did it. She says, yeah, but you and I were not in love. Drew and I are in love. And Michael just looks at her, right? And I want to play this half of a clip of a 10 seconds, 15 seconds of Willow talking to Michael. And I want to come back and talk about it. And then I want to get your opinion in comment corner about this scene. Okay. So I'm getting ready to share my screen again.
You from dragging my kids into it, and that is a promise.
You think so? I know you're used to getting your way, Michael. But not this time. I am going to marry Drew, and I am going to get my children back.
Yes,
I just want to say, I want to go.
Now, who did that remind you of, everybody? Who, after every sentence, would say his name? You know, you think you're so smart, Michael. Now, Willow never talked to Michael like that. And I thought, I read a lot of your comments in Comment Corner about her. She's going to take on her sister's evil personality. I think it was DID, right? I believe it. And it makes her feel empowered. But she even talked like that when she ran into Nina again, because she left the Quartermain's house. And what I didn't understand, well, I did understand it. But if you notice, while Michael was talking to her and while she was talking to him, did you notice he was crying? Because he loved her. And to have this woman, your wife, well, you're divorced now as of yesterday, 2 days ago, but to just tell you that. She didn't have to come over there full of transparency. Oh, then she brought up, the way you treated me. I flew all the way to Germany and you refused to. And he goes, think, Willow, think, why would I do that? No one told me you were there. The receptionist, she left the front and she went to the back. As a matter of fact, she came back and said, you don't want anything further to do with me. He said, that did not happen. Yeah, did. You're just a liar. See, that's the difference. Drew treats me as an equal. Equal to his big toe. Girl, what you talking about? That's about it. Drew has never talked to you as an equal adult, an equal partner, an equal decision maker, not at all. Right? This is how Drew treats Willow as an equal. Willow, you want to have some steak for dinner tonight, right? Right? That steak sounds really good, doesn't it? And Willow will look at him and say, yes, Drew, I want to have steak for dinner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Drew. That's their relationship. So anyway, she leaves there, but after Nina talked to Carly, and Carly let her know, Nina, bottom line, I can't influence Michael. You have had all these months to get a handle on Willow, and you can't. You can't get her away from Drew. And there is nothing I could do. I feel for Willow, I really do. But she's made her bed. She's done this. And there's nothing nobody could say to her. So Nina walks away. Carly walks away. Nina calls Jason. Jason was talking to Sonny. I'll get to that in a minute. And Jason shows up and he goes, okay, what can I do for you? I need your help. And he goes, I presume it's about Michael and Willow. Yes. I talked to Carly. She's no help. I'm coming to you because I'm desperate. You need to talk to Michael. And Jason's about what? About letting Willow see her kids, about, making stipulations that she could see the kids without Drew. This way, Willow will feel better. She'll calm down. She won't feel like she's rushed into marrying Drew. And that'll give me time to work on her and get her to see she doesn't need Drew. She has her children. And Jason looked at her and goes, that could work. Now, here's the deal, everybody. What did Willow have when she moved back into the Quartermain, back into her and Michael's house? What did she have with her? She had her children. What were her children enough? No, they weren't. They weren't enough at all. She quickly moved out of there because, see, the stipulation was, okay, I might be here with my kids, but I'm gonna have Drew here too. Right here in their daddy's house. Now, yeah, that time Drew snuck onto the grounds, he scaled the fence, the kids weren't home. But that was just the beginning. Because Willow says, I'm not going to let anybody say when Drew and I can see each other. They could have easily gotten a hotel room anytime they wanted to see each other. But that wasn't good enough for Willow. So all this, my kids, she can't choose because she won't put her kids first. But anyway, so Jason says, that could work. And he was considering talking to Michael. Willow walks up. What's going on here? And Jason looked at her, and Nina's looking, and she goes, did Michael send you to intimidate my mother? And Jason is just looking at her. And he's like, no. Yes, he did. Well, you can let Michael know that it is not going to work. Drew and I are going to be married, and Drew and I are going to be together. So Jason looks at Willow, and he turns and he looks at Nina like, guess who I ain't going to be talking to, right? And Nina's looking like, oh, goodness. Like, I just made an inroad. And oh my goodness. So that's where they stand with that. We've got, let me go to that picture. Now, this is the picture of Michael and Willow talking. Because he's like, you know what, you do whatever you want to do. But I'm not gonna let you drag my kids down this road at all. I'm not, Willow. So we have Portia and Jordan still talking. If Portia accusing her, of course, of going after her husband. You've been hanging out with my husband, entertaining my husband all afternoon. And Jordan's like, no, that's not what's going on. So she goes, oh, I saw you. You two were laughing. She goes, we were reminiscing about the past. Was it about your past, your marriage? And Jordan looked at her and said, you know what? This is ridiculous. You are insecure. No, every chance I get, you use every opportunity to be in Curtis's face. She goes, Curtis and I do business together. So that's what you're seeing. But if you're insecure, that's on you. You're trying to come between get in between my marriage. And Jordan says, that's absolutely not what I'm doing. She says, unlike what you did when Curtis and I were married. And Portia looked at her. So this is payback? Is this payback? She goes, no, it's not payback. What I'm telling you, Portia, whatever is going wrong in your marriage, I have absolutely nothing to do with it. That's all you. And Portia looks at her. She goes, so you need to woman up and take responsibility for your own actions. And Portia picks up a drink and throws it in Jordan's face, and Jordan's like, because it was alcohol, right? It's all in her face, it all over in her hair. So now Isaiah comes up. Dr. Robinson, Dr. This, you know what? You need to get out of here. You don't need to be causing a scene here at the pool. So he pulls Portia away. And she goes, yeah, he pulls her away and he goes, no, you don't need to, you're supposed to be relaxing, not, you know, getting into it with Jordan. And Jordan goes to the bathroom. But realistically, here's what she should have done. She should have just took her wrap off and dunked herself in the pool. And that would have got rid of everything. But guess what, y'all? That would have messed up her hair, right? But in reality, she had liquor all in her hair. So there's no way around it. She came out the bathroom pristine. I don't know how that happened. Okay. She should have been smelling all like Long Island iced tea. But anyway, Portia says, you know what? She gets a call from Curtis, right? She goes, I'm going to go take care of this right now. So she leaves. Jordan comes out the bathroom, and Isaiah's still there. And she goes, good, I'm glad you're still here. And she goes, can you believe Portia? And he goes, what do you mean? She's accusing me of going after Curtis. And so Isaiah said, you know, Jordan, I thought we couldn't be together because of your undercover work. He says, but in reality, I think we couldn't be together because of your ex-husband. And she looked at him, she goes, not you too. And he said, Jordan, I was here. And like Portia, I saw you and Curtis. Now you could try to lie to me, but don't lie to yourself. There's something there. And Jordan just looked at him because remember, Jordan's been talking to Anna about that, saying now that there's Curtis's marriage is on the rocks. She doesn't know. I mean, how she feels about it. Okay. So we have Curtis talking to Trina. I fast forwarded the majority of that. I just really didn't give a doggone. But she knows that Curtis has something on her mother that he's helping her with. And Trina's like, well, I want to help. And he goes, honey, you need to stay out of this. You can't help. And you getting involved could put your mother in more jeopardy. You don't want to do that, do you? Trina's like, no. So Curtis is hugging her, but then the camera's panned on Trina's face. And she had the look of, I'm getting involved, all written all over it. She's gonna get involved, right? Well, guess who did what we knew he was gonna do? Kai. He tells Drew. And the funny thing is, everybody, when he told him, there was really no reason for him to tell him at that point. Drew was talking about, I got to get my reputation together because I'm going to marry the woman I love, the woman that means more to me. And now, now I've got to find out who really did drug me. He knows, he said, because I want Willow to marry me with a clean reputation. And so he goes, oh, okay. Well, in that case, I have something I have to tell you. He tells him everything he heard Curtis and Portia talking about. And Drew was like, really? Now let's see. Watch Kai go back to Trina. Let's see if he tells Trina. Let's see if he feels the same obligation to tell Trina that he threw her parents under the bus than he did with Drew. Let's see. I don't know how he's going to play it because I really haven't paid that close attention to the character of Kai. That is, oh, Sonny talking to Jason about Sidwell. Yeah, still throwing up, but we can't let Sidwell be in charge of the city, blah, blah, blah. But yet neither one of you are coming up with a plan. Now, Natalia's supposed to be disappearing off to Belize, Brazil. Jason has it all set up. Belize or Brazil, one or two. And he goes, yeah, no, we just tonight she's supposed to go. Natalia ain't going. I already know that. Sonny, Jason goes, are you sure she's not going to double cross you, Sonny? He says, no. I feel Natalia's going to do what she's supposed to do. She says she is. Jason says, how do you know she hasn't told Sidwell everything she has on you? He goes, I don't think she did. He's like, she's just supposed to come over and bring him that hard drive this afternoon. Now, my question is, why hasn't she already given it to him? Why did she go right to the bank and get it and bring it to him yesterday? Right? So, needless to say, Sonny should have gotten it. Spinelli should have corrupted it and given it right back to her so she could put it back in the safety deposit box. Or Spinelli should have given her some kind of scrambler so she could put it in the box with the hard drive. It scramble up the hard drive, magnetic scrambler. So she doesn't even have to take it out the bank, right? She don't even have to worry about now putting it back. She just does it all in the room. But you know what? Whatever. Natalia's going to be a big disappointment to Sonny. Now, here's what was interesting. Sidwell. Oh, and Lucy came to talk to Sonny about selling the piers to Sidwell. I fast-forwarded the whole thing. Sidwell's talking to Marco poolside. He's watching the conversation with Willow and Jason and Nina. And Sidwell says, yeah, Sonny had backed out of the piers. He told Lucy and Marco that. And Lucy's gone and talking to Sonny. And Sidwell says, well, you know what? It's all right. I just might have to change tactics. I'll get those piers by any means necessary. And Marco said, Dad, I don't want to hear that. Marco is a good guy right now. He is. He's like, And he goes, you know what? That could mean a lot of things, son. But I'm going to get what I want. And then he looked over and he's looking at Willow, Jason, and Nina. To me, he's looking at Willow. Now, I think he's going to have the judge give Willow this crazy, just wide open visitation, right? See, Michael thinks just because he got awarded the custody that he's got more of a leeway. He told Willow, I've got all the leverage. Watch, Sidwell's going to pay the judge to say, okay, but I want the mother to have them 70% of the time. Some craziness, right? We shall see. Sidwell has some plans going on that we just don't know about. All right, everybody, let's go 5 minutes of comment corner because I still have not watched my other show to do my other recap. So it's going to be a late night for me. All right, I'm going to start my trusty dusty stopwatch. Go from the bottom up. And I'm only going to go for 4 minutes. Bottom up. Black, purple, turquoise. And I'm going to read a paragraph of your comment because great long comment. You said, I knew Tracy wasn't going through with reading that BS statement Martin drafted up for her to read on Drew's behalf. And it looks like he, as usual, is being very arrogant and cocky. May have just re-imploded his reputation. And everyone watching the press conference may finally rethink twice about their having anything to do with him, especially the constituents that voted for him mistakenly the first time around. I hope so, because it's high past time for Drew's real face unfiltered consequences for consequences for his actions. Willow too. She's just a gravely lost cause. Beyond saving, beyond help, the whole 9 yards. Wiley and Amelia are safe from her now, so everyone needs to stop trying to get her to see any type of sense, especially Carly and Michael, and just let her go down uh Drew's ship. Yep. P. Merrill says, I was screaming when Tracy said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I knew she couldn't. Drew maybe had a slight chance before he opened his monologue, thoroughly degrading and humiliating Tracy. He sure did. Tracy, you go, girl. Hope Tapper says, Cody doesn't say on the video Nina slept with Drew because the PI didn't get that part only about Willow kissing and the punch. Oh, that's right. They had a PI following who? Drew at the time? What was a PI following at the time? uh, Deborah says, how come Michael's picture how come that Michael's picture in the intro? Were you saying Michael's picture is not in the intro? I haven't even looked at the intro. So I don't know why. I have to look maybe. Brenda says Ava and Rick might show up on GH wedding. Willow's not, the wedding. Willow's not thinking now. Drew and Marty knows better. Wendy says when she is thinking, she's a Stepford wife, the original movie. She's totally robotic. Yes, she is. And then Lucy says, I sure hope Drew and Willow do not marry. Wendy says, me too. I hope he doesn't ask her to jump in front of a train. Melody says, I hope the walls crumble in before the I do's are said. And is Willow pregnant? We don't know. Melody says, only if it's a wedding and a funeral. And Lucy said to Melody, Willow pregnant? Oh, please no. Christera says, has some hearts and happy faces behind that. You know what? They haven't gotten back to that. I think they're going to have a little split personality thing going on. And I could see that. That'd be some good material. Debbie says, has Michael told Carly that Sasha wants to be the only parent on the birth certificate and that he agreed to all that she asked of him? P. Merle says, of course not. This is Carly we're talking about. Maybe Sasha will acquiesce to this one gesture. So we'll see. Yeah, that hasn't come up yet. Matter of fact, we haven't seen Sasha or Daisy pretty much this week, have we? Since somebody was looking in on the baby, we haven't seen them. But that's it, everybody. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.